Sleepers Podcast, Monday, February 16th. Play Somebody Week is upon us. Now, don't forget, people tried to tell us Play Somebody Week was at the end of January. That's what they said. And then all of a sudden, Play Somebody Week has moved. It was delayed 2 weeks. Now Play Somebody Week is upon us again. Deion Hill-Ford is here. Deion, not only is this Play Somebody Week for us, this is the biggest week of you and I's professional careers together. Are you excited? Are you ready?
I'm massively excited. It pains me that Play Somebody Week for you pits us against each other. That's not something we've ever been good at. Like, we're rarely ever on opposite sides of stuff. So that makes me a little nervous, to be honest. But just the idea of being in West Lafayette, I know I'm not saying Lafayette correctly. Everybody's decided to tell me that. I'm standing on my ground right now, though. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I'm excited to get to Mackey. Gonna try to get a bobblehead. Probably won't, but I will get a seltzer.
So I have a proposal. It's West Lafayette, aka WL.
I do like WL.
Going forward, we refer to it as either the W or the L based on what happens to Purdue on Tuesday night in Mackey Arena.
On behalf of Purdue fans, I agree to those terms.
Yep, we'll find out. It's either the W forever going forward or it's the L. It's up to y'all. We'll figure it out. This is a big one. Purdue, Michigan. This isn't the preview, but we'll have that preview content up. My mentions are already being flooded, and Deion and I will be in attendance. I'm making the drive down, about a 3-hour drive from home for me on Tuesday. Deion is flying in from California for this game. We will be in town for the night, and then I think we're going to stick around on Wednesday and just sort of see how the day goes. If there's an opportunity to record something with Braden in person, we're going to do our best to do that. So we'll figure out exactly where it goes. But I was venting to some folks privately already about this. Really weird mental spot to be in here. Like, we've had this circled since the beginning of the season when we announced the Braden show of like, man, that game's going to be weird. But when you now add the gravity of Michigan is the number one team in the country, mixed with Purdue is trying to stick in the Big Ten race. It's basically an elimination game, mixed with the way this pod's been received over the last month, mixed with you and I in attendance. It's an interesting spot, Deion. It's almost like a Purdue win here, I think, would be better for my sanity and mental health and business. But obviously a Michigan win would go a long way for my heart. So I don't know. Help me through this. Help guide me. What do we do with this situation?
I feel like I'm the meme where the guy like throws the fries into the already super good and then it just blows up. Me coming instead of Card, I think blows it all up because Card wouldn't care what's going on. And there is an element of me that like kind of needs a Purdue win. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think you being there genuinely on behalf of Purdue is a good development for us, for sure.
Business wise, yeah. But like every positive we have about it so far has been business wise, and then you and I just getting the chance to hang out. There's not much about like your mental sanity personally that's we've had any positives on.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out when we get there. I feel like if I get one dap with Braden after the game, win or lose, that'll do enough for my mental sanity. So I'm looking forward to this. If I could, if this played out exactly how I could wish it, I actually would not be that upset with a Purdue win because Michigan would still hold first place. Like that would honestly not be terrible for me right now. But if I could have it perfectly, Braden triple-double, Braden 30-point dominant game where he makes zero mistakes. Best game of his career, very clearly. But a 6-point Michigan win in the process. Like that we're just too good everywhere else. There's nothing you can do. That's kind of what I'm rooting for, I think. But you want a Purdue blowout, right? That's the goal?
That's my goal. Honestly, though, part of the reason I want a Purdue blowout, it's not even so much for Purdue to get back in the race. Vibes would be high at Purdue, right? Which is good going into March. We need that. But gee, it also makes next Friday for us really meaningful if Purdue can get one.
Next Friday being Purdue, Indiana?
Well, like Illinois, Michigan. Like maybe Michigan
Oh,
drops another and
oh,
Illinois gets back in the
a
race.
week from Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 27th, my bad. Like it
Yeah.
opens up the door for Illinois getting back in the race too.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Michigan wins one of Purdue, Illinois, it feels like they win the league.
Yeah.
So could be wrong. They also almost lost to Northwestern this week. I've been wrong before, but a lot of things on the line this week, and we will be in town in Mackey Arena for that game. I'm looking forward to it. Anyone who is a regular listener who has made it through the first 6 minutes of banter of this and is wondering where the hell is Cart, would you like to answer that?
It's Leon's winter break. Um, First 1 year old to ever have a winter break, but Carter is in Florida.
He's in Florida. He's in.
Which, by the way, I do want to point something out to Cart. I love that he's blaming it on Leon now because that's what all great fathers do. Cart's gone to Florida in the middle of February every year since before Leon was even considered.
They try to act like this is winter break as if they don't just do it on their own
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, this was just gonna happen.
Listen, I think Cart has a well-deserved vacation. I think that's what's going on here. He actually, credit to him, he tried to sign up for the full Monday shift from Florida, and he also tried to schedule the Running Point podcast with Braden Sunday night while they're in the air on the way to Florida. So had to have those conversations with him today, just like, hey, logistically, let's talk through this a little bit. But he didn't want to miss any of this. That's the main point. So bear with us this week. It's going to be a choppy week in terms of content with all this travel. Cart is literally on vacation with his family all week, and I think he is still going to work a couple days while Dion and I are at Purdue. So, yeah, give us some leeway if you're wondering, like, why isn't the crew on some of these big games together? That's why we're just all over the place. Dion and I are doing 3 days full of channel stuff, including Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And in the meantime, we'll be at Purdue with it. Carter has plans with a variety of members on our team to fill in the 2 days we're gone. So you're still going to get all the content that you're looking for, if not more than you're looking for. But don't worry. I feel like I'm like talking as if there's like a TMZ who follow sleepers. Like, it's not that Cart and I are fighting again. We're just both traveling in various ways this week, you know?
They're getting hammer on Wednesday, it looks like.
Hammer's going to be on a lot of shorts for us on Wednesday. Yeah, and I think Jay Hart got the call to the big leagues for Tuesday.
You know what? I do want to let it be known. Card deserved a couple more responses from the group this morning, and I want to be on record with that. I'm hard on Card from time to time. I want to be on Card's side. He deserved a couple more responses from the group this morning.
So this is what I learned. I felt the same way. I'm like, damn, Cart texted the whole group and nobody responded. Apparently, a bunch of people responded privately just to Cart.
Got it.
Yeah,
How come they respond to us publicly, but they respond privately to Card?
yeah, got to figure that out. My number one takeaway, which Cart self admits this is his kryptonite. I think we got a communication problem as a general team. I think 60% of the group chat texts to the Sleepers group chat are just you making jokes,
Yeah,
and you get a lot of ha-has, rightfully deserved. But there's just not a lot of real like we don't have a Slack channel. There's no actual like business discussion going on ever in there other than when I send the schedule and then like once a month Cart will say he needs something and people just don't respond to it. So working through that, but shout out, I think Matt texted Cart on the side and was like I'm game, and Jay Hart immediately with Cart said within seconds said I'll take those if nobody else does. So not questioning the work ethic of our group, just the communication patterns.
yeah. Just the communication, and I'll own my portion of that. We can have less jokes maybe to open the forum up.
No, we need the jokes. If we don't have the jokes, we have nothing in the group chat. But
You, if there's no jokes, we don't get cold Pete compared to Eric Ebron.
right, which the world needs that very clearly. No, things are in a good place. I'm excited. This is Can you tell I'm nervous?
Well, for Tuesday,
This is a big week, man.
gotta be honest, I haven't thought about the game once. I've been checking the weather. I'm terrified of snow, G. So I have nothing for elements.
Wait, you're terrified of snow?
Yeah, I have nothing for elements. I don't know what to, so I don't have like winter clothes.
That tracks.
I golfed this morning.
So good news, not gonna be winter.
No, that's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
it's like 50 in the Midwest all week. Everything's fine.
Oh, I can live with that.
Yeah, which might feel like winter to you, but it's been like 15 degrees all February until you come to town.
I needed that. So shout out the weather gods. Because if it was snowing, I'll be honest, I would have been a nightmare to be around.
Yeah. No, we're
I
gonna be fine.
probably would slip.
Yeah. I mean, you in snow is like Trey Donaldson and Mac Urena. It's just not a good fit, you know?
Been in snow one time, and everyone was like, "Yo, you don't have snowshoes." And I said, "Why would I have snowshoes?" And they're like, "You have Jordans on." I said, "Well, if he scored 45 in these, I should be able to walk through some snow." Immediately fell.
Yeah.
Immediately fell.
Yeah. I mean, hey, elements get to everybody. It happens. I'm nervous. If you can't tell, I'm really nervous. NBA All-Star game. So I have a lot of NBA All-Star questions, and you're Sleeper's resident NBA expert. So just starting with this, did you watch the All-Star game?
I did. I found out a lot of them were all stars during the game.
Yeah, Norman Powell's an All-Star this year. I don't want to talk about that, but I have questions. Can I rattle off my questions to you?
Yeah.
So all week, every single player in this All-Star game went viral for basically laughing at reporters saying we're not gonna try. And then I watched 5 minutes of this All-Star game, and there was more trying in this than any All-Star game I've ever seen. Am I wrong on that, or did guys actually compete this year?
I think guys competed this year. I think Wemby set the tone. Here's the thing, like no one in like players are competitive. So if one guy sets the tone, like they don't want to get embarrassed either, you know? Like it's not fun losing 150 to 80 if the other team's trying. If you lose 150 to 110 and everybody's like messing around, like no one cares. But the moment Wemby in that first game pushed Pascal Siakam back on defense because he wasn't hustling enough, I said, okay, it's on.
Yeah, I didn't even see that moment. I tapped in literally for like 2 minutes here and there as I'm putting my kids to bed, and every single possession looked like just a better contest on shots than I've ever seen in an All-Star game. So I don't know. Everyone was complaining about the format. The players were openly laughing about this entire thing all week, and then it looked like it worked to me.
It did. I have no idea what the format is still though, and I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it was just three teams, I think, like cycling in and out. There was the old heads, the young heads, and then the internationals. I kind of get what they were going for. I think it was poorly structured and poorly branded, but I don't know. I'm not for or against this. I'm just confused by all of this, I think.
I think it was a good one-time thing. I think if you do it every year, it gets boring. I'll be honest. But like, if you sprinkle in a World versus USA, let's say like every 3 years, I think I could get behind it.
I don't hate
Kind
that.
of like the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, turn the All-Star game into a bunch of rotating Ryder Cups.
Yeah, like because if the Ryder Cup was every year, it loses its luster.
If it was like the Ryder Cup one year, then the President's Cup the next year, then Olympic golf the next year, then the
Yeah,
Masters the next year.
like cycle through all of it, you know? And like, you know what? Honestly, let Team World play a home game.
And I don't
Like, make the All-Star game be in like the middle of France one year.
Turks and Caicos. I think we all want to see Devin Booker in Turks and Caicos as much as possible.
If
Uh,
they do that, they might not come back. That's the
that's
problem.
so true. More important question. This is the big one for me. This was in LA, right?
Inglewood, yeah,
Okay. So Pacific time zone.
yeah.
Why were these games played at 5 p.m. Eastern?
I think honestly, I think it was because of the Olympics.
Oh, okay. I was wondering the entire time, why is this so early? The whole weekend.
Ice Cube's son said it's because everybody wants to get out of Inglewood while the sun's up.
That's very funny. I could see that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like normally, the dunk contest is like 8:30 p.m. or whatever. I didn't even know the dunk contest was going on until 11 different people sent me the picture of Jace Richardson falling.
Yeah, man. Who okayed him being in the dunk contest?
Great athlete. I have no comment. I've opted out of all Michigan State commentary. So,
Well, okay, I've opted in. And this is the only comment I got. I'm convinced Adam Silver never actually watched Michigan State play basketball, saw Richardson and gave an invite. And Jace was just told, hey, you're gonna do this. And then let's be honest, his career almost ended. Like, like it was almost all over a dunk contest. That fall, by the way, is gonna set the dunk contest back even farther than it already is.
yeah. I mean, I think speaking of format things that need to be changed, there's just a lot of issues. The big thing here, Cohen will immediately rejuvenate the dunk contest, but Cohen needs to get there. How
Well,
how is Cohen going to get there?
well, first off, Lotto Card's back. Tap into the recap after Card and I record it because that's my takeaway from the game. But he could play in the G League and win the dunk contest now. Mac McClung did it twice.
So I think we just do Carr McClung every
Yeah,
year. No other invites, just 1v1 the entire year.
yeah. I mean, if Levine wants to get involved again, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, like if the greats, but only the greats.
Yeah, like maybe Jalen Johnson announced like, "Yo, I'm gonna do this one day," and I was just like,
Yeah,
"For
cool,
sure, dude."
cool, buddy.
Like,
Yeah,
could care less.
that's great. Well, all right. Bottom line, this I watched less of this entire All-Star weekend than I ever have because all the events were at 5 p.m. and I'm a 32-year-old dad, and that's dinner time. So shout out to Adam Silver for he's ruining this league in so many ways, man.
The moment I met you guys, that was like one of my very first NBA takes was Adam Silver is the worst. Uh, and all of this, by the way, is so cross country skiing can be on national television. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to believe we can't have Braun in prime time because we got Germany, USA men's hockey.
It's a tough look. Right now I'm watching Chen Ying Chu versus Martina Baran in what appears to be speed skating. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. Sports are in a weird place, man. I'm nervous. Can you tell that I'm nervous, Dion?
Can we get college players playing in the All-Star game since NBA players can play in college games?
Okay. Like, what if they ran the same format back for this All-Star game, but one of the teams was college All-Stars?
So like Ryder Cup is USA versus the world, President's Cup is NBA college.
So it would never work in the middle of a college season a month before March because everyone except for Darren Peterson's camp would not let their players play. But I feel like, I mean, that's kind of what they do for like the Rising Stars game now, right? There's a team of G Leaguers, and then all the
Yeah.
actual NBA players kind of like get pissed off because it's like, yo, really? And the G Leaguers play super hard because it's like, we're better, like, we deserve their spot. I don't know. It'd be like if this year they sent Peterson, Boozer, DeBonsa, Caleb Wilson, Koa Pete, and said you have a 12-minute game against Team Old Heads.
Yeah.
You telling me like that wouldn't at least be entertaining?
Darren Peterson would be healthy immediately.
He'd be healthy immediately. AJ would like be good in that setting. And I think probably for the first 8 minutes, old heads would fuck around.
Oh yeah.
But then they'd look up and be like, yo, we're only up 4. We better not lose to these dudes, you know?
Then they would put belt and it would be so entertaining.
It'd be way more entertaining than what we saw tonight. Yeah.
Or we do draft class versus draft class. So like it's Coop and them versus AJ and them.
See, I don't think anybody cares about that. What about, did you hear, was it Nick Wright or somebody's idea was whites versus blacks?
Yeah. I'm kind of in on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, I mean, maybe this current rendition of this, you can make this argument. Over time, that's not a fair fight.
No. Well, neither is World versus USA though. So I think that you just have to come up with gimmick games every year.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Like I think like this is the only year the college thing would work most likely
Why can't we just put a bunch of money online?
because they have so much. We tried that with the play-in.
Couldn't we put way more money though? Like just way more. Way more.
For Steph Curry, and Steph gets up for most things, but like if you want to get like Steph and Braun, who are like 500 millionaires, to like try, it's got to be what like 20 million per player.
What about equity? What about like we come up with specific incentives for each player. Like, yo, Bron, if your team wins, Bronny gets a second contract.
Ooh, or increase salary cap like per player's team or something like that. Like
Steph, you get a Nike deal.
yeah.
Like everybody gets like for free. Free, Like I don't know. I feel like we could work something out.
Increase lotto odds if your all-star team wins and like you have an all-star on that team or something
And
like that, and then you do West East.
like Cade Cunningham, you get to leave Detroit. Um,
You get to cut Isaiah Stewart for free.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum will get Nancy Guthrie. Like we could come up with so many things here, you know?
There was a commercial way off topic. There was a commercial like Tatum might play in like a week or two. There was a commercial that like borderline announced his return.
Yeah, Tatum's back and Jaylen Brown's so mad.
So bad. And somehow Vucevic is starting on that team. And then like I turned Denny Avdia is an all-star. That's a problem for me. I really like Jalen Duren. There was a little bit of a problem. He was out there for me too. And then Jalen Johnson was out there. And like he got compared to Kuminga a lot. So that's a massive problem for
Yeah, I
me.
found out Ron Harper Jr. plays minutes for the Celtics this week.
Really.
I had no idea. Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Like the Celtics are like the main Celtics.
I think the Celtics. That's what they were saying. Yeah.
Crazy.
But the league's in a weird spot. I've been trying to push this to cart for 6 months. Like I every time I learn something new about the league feels more and more destroyed to me, you know?
It's so interesting because I think over the like since COVID, the talent in college basketball is like so much higher than it was pre-COVID. And somehow the talent in the NBA is so much worse than it was pre-COVID.
Yeah,
And
it's a
and
weird
that
thing.
makes no sense to me.
It's a really weird thing. But I don't know. Every time we say this, like a new generation just arrives, and it feels like at some point that will be Wemby. So
Uh, I'll tell you what, there was who was the guy that said like we need to see him play college? Like,
no,
no,
yeah, no way, no way.
no.
And I
That
love
would be
because Wemby does seem to like care.
yeah.
Like he seems to understand his role in all this. Like him and Chet don't mess with each other at all, and he seems to approach everything from like a real competitive engine way in a way that some others don't. So I like this.
Chet stinks. So this is the first Chet game I've watched all year, to be fair, and it was the only time I've seen him play is in an All-Star setting. Bad basketball player, I'm pretty sure.
So, as a longtime Chet defender, Chet believer, I still am on the Chet bandwagon, but I did watch 60 seconds of the All-Star game tonight and I thought he was Daniel Jacobson. That's a tough look from my guy.
He clanked the three, and I said, "Well, this guy's bad," and I was just done with it at that point. And then the only time he ever scored was open dunks when Wemby was on the bench.
Yeah, not great. But Chet, he crossed Steph Curry one time.
Look, the idea of Chet's phenomenal. It's basically Wemby, but there's just such a big difference between the two.
NBA champion Chet.
That's true. That's true. All-star.
Right. See, that's crazy. When you say it like that, that part gets a little crazy for me. All right, let's get to the show. We'll have another full episode tomorrow where we'll do the Discord comments, but as we always do on these Monday episodes, we're just going to get right to the segments. Here we go. First topic today, we are coming up with a list of 10 winners from the weekend in college hoops. We will alternate our way through until we each nominate five for a list of 10. Do you want the first pick or the second pick?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
And it can be team, player, coach, anything, right?
Team player, coach, anything.
Todd Golden. Uh, I'm not exactly sure why. I just this guy's quotes at this point are infatuating to me. They make me giggle. And I'm loving what Todd Golden's doing at the moment. So the $22 million roster thing, he's my number one winner because of that.
Called out the money situation for Kentucky after Denzel Aberdeen shook his hand and came back to Gainesville and got the win. Yeah, that was a nice moment for Todd, who definitely seems to have a little chippy engine to him. Okay, I'm gonna be a homer. I think it's got to be Michigan because they have reclaimed the number one spot in the sport in part thanks to Arizona's 0-2 week. But, in terms of how do you stamp optically the idea of like, okay, there's going to be a new number one. Michigan's 2 second halves this week were absurd. They dug a 16-point hole against Northwestern. They scored on 21 consecutive possessions to win that game and almost cover, even though they were trailing for 75% of it. And then against UCLA, they just destroyed them. 46-18 in the second half. Kiss Mick Cronin on the cheek on the way out. There is no debate who the best team in this sport is this year. I've tried to delay this and hide it as best I can. They might go 0-2 this week at Mackey and on a neutral against Duke, but at least for 1 week, that's the biggest winner in the sport.
Do you guys do snake style? Like, are you getting two?
No, it's back to you for number three.
I'm gonna take Duke then. I think Duke cemented themselves as the second best team in the sport right now, and the by far the best defense in the country. And I think Saturday we're getting a battle of the Titans.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, and I saw a tweet about this with all the freshmen. It was kind of an underwhelming freshman weekend. Like
Yeah.
injuries and a lot, like Darren had a stinky performance, a lot of just weird. Koa Pete was out in the second half. Uh Boozer had another just Cam Boozer game. Like every single game, he's just solid, like 18 and 10. And what are you supposed to do? Nitpick that? Like he's been the best. He's gonna win National Player of the Year because of that. You know what? I'm gonna give Purdue role players a shout. We'll talk about this in the recap, but I think they deserve to be on the list, and specifically the role players. Jakari Harris was brilliant, we were told. 14 points off the bench, hit three threes, had a poster dunk that I flat out didn't think he was capable of. CJ Cox hit four threes with him. Omer hit two threes. That was the best collectively that Purdue's shooting guard spot has ever been. And if they can make shots like that down the stretch, this is a totally different team.
I agree. I think that team's starting to come together. I know I watched a few of the Braden interviews. I know he kind of like disagrees with the notion that like anything's changing, and he tweeted it. I don't think anything's changing, but I definitely think they're gelling in a way they weren't prior. Um, my next winner, it's basically Purdue, but I'm going to say the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten arguably is the best conference in the country. I think this is the most individual talent the Big Ten's had. I don't know, man. Honestly, maybe since like the late 2000s. And I think this team, like, or this conference as a whole, is extremely exciting. And by the way, I emphasize Purdue because, gee, I hate to say this, to be honest with you, Purdue's about to get Michigan in a look ahead spot.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, that's for
They,
sure a real thing.
yeah, so they get Michigan looking ahead to MSG. The Big Ten gets Purdue, Michigan, a battle of two top 10 teams because of the way Purdue handled the weekend. Special conference at the moment.
That's for sure a real thing. Yeah, we'll see how they handle it. But I like the shout. Cart's been adamant the Big 12 is the best conference. I certainly don't feel that way. I think the schedule breakdown for Arizona is a big part of what they just went through in the last week. They didn't play anybody for 2 full months, and now their schedule's so backloaded they don't have a breath of fresh air until the season ends. So we'll see what happens. I have my last Big Ten shout here, following up your Big Ten conference shout as a whole. I think Wisconsin has to be a winner. I think obviously Nick Boyd was brilliant and unstoppable in this game, but Blackwell is getting a bunch of love from Izzo, saying he's the biggest recruiting regret he's ever had, delivering really good performances with that. Wisconsin's fans got to storm the court after that game, and I know there was debate on whether or not they should have. All I would say is this: I'm pro court storm in general. I was surprised they stormed the court, but you know, let's also like take this in for a second. They upset Michigan and Illinois on the road. Those fans didn't get to celebrate those wins. And I'm not saying they were technically storming Michigan and Illinois when they stormed for Michigan State, but this Wisconsin team is the Wisconsin Giant Slayers. That's what I'm calling them. When there's a big game, Nick Boyd and these dudes get up for it, and it was the first big home win. I'm glad those fans could celebrate that team the way they deserve to be.
I thought that performance was special. Game wasn't really close either, in my opinion. Like
No.
I felt like they handled them start to finish. I can't wait to get to the losers portion.
Okay, that's a little spoiler. Four more. You're back.
I have two more.
Two more for you, two more for me.
Um, Texas Tech. This team is really, really good. I thought they had a phenomenal week. That performance against Arizona, individual performances, the best are probably Michigan. Some of these blowouts, the Gonzaga game, you can even say the Michigan State game, so on and so forth. This was the most surprising performance, I think, of the year. I don't think anybody like if Texas Tech won, I think people are probably like, it's like a little bit of like they got the lead, then they blew it, then they took it back. Like they were down to Arizona and punched Arizona in the mouth that won this game by what, like three or something like that? Maybe was
Yeah.
it seven actually?
I think it was three. It was a final possession game. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was and they went to OT on like I'll be honest with you, like I guess you can call that a foul. Like
Yeah.
I guess. But I thought Texas Tech punched Arizona in the mouth. Yeah, it was a phenomenal performance. Christian Anderson, JT Toppin, like they'll probably be back next year too, unless Christian Anderson goes to the league. Like, can we get them some role players, McCaslin? Like it can't be.
Toppin will be gone if his comments to us at Big 12 Media Day were anything to pay attention to. He was
Oh,
flashing a Rolex to us, and we were like, "Where'd you get that?" Or I think we said, Why'd you come back?" And he said, "Shit, the NIL." So
well, where's he gonna go?
I
I'm just,
I hear what you're saying.
I'm just like, I'm just.
Saying. You kind of beat me to the punch, but I'm going to give a call out to their head coach too, Grant McCaslin, because not only did Texas Tech get this win, I thought the way they got the win was absolutely in part due to their scheme and some in-game adjustments that McCaslin made. And then after the game, Tommy Lloyd hit the podium. We're going to do a short on this tomorrow. And Tommy Lloyd said, and I quote, "Well, he plays chess. I'm more of a checkers player." That's what Arizona's head coach said after a loss as the number one team in the country to Texas Tech on their home court. I think McCaslin's a dog. I think he's a top five coach in the country. This team is getting better and better and better. They run complex stuff, and they had the math advantage in this game because they have a coach who knows what he's doing.
Riley Davis convinced me North Carolina was gonna hire a guy that says he plays checkers. And you know what, actually?
It
Now
fit.
that I say that out loud, yeah, congrats on taking the North Carolina job, Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah, it feels like it fits. It feels like it fits. Okay, we both have one more.
I'm gonna go with myself. Cullen Carr, Lotto Carr takes are fully back. Special performance. 3 units is alive and well. Things in Dion Enterprises are rising. We got Mackey on Tuesday. It was a good weekend for my takes.
Yeah, weirdly enough, I could be on this list too because my narratives this week went like Purdue's fine, everybody shut up. Arizona's not nearly as good as their schedule of 6 weeks of wins against nobody says they are. And I think I had like Michigan Mick Cronin antagonistic stuff. Oh, and I had Andre's not going to play, and there's an injury concern here for everything I said all last week hit. I went 4-0 narratively this weekend, but I'm glad that one of us gets to be on the winners list because my last winner, this one is me owning up to being wrong. The one thing I got wrong this week. Michael Brown's a winner.
Yeah, you can hoop.
Michael Brown's a winner. He had 45 for Louisville, and then I said basically on the Action Network show that it's a great sell high spot. A dude shooting 31% from three on the year couldn't miss. He's not going to shoot that way again. He came out and went 4 for 5 from three, 8 for 14 from the field, 29 points in an 11-point win over Baylor. I still don't really trust this Louisville team at all, but I should trust Michael Brown because he was special,
Can I get an honorable mention?
of course.
Much like everything he's done this year, I overlooked him on this list. Darius Acuff, man.
Yeah, he's great.
That dude is insane. Prototypical point guard. Cal said he's the best point guard he's ever had. The numbers came out. He is the best point guard Cal's ever had. And by the way, Jordan Smith Jr. is on the way next year too, so Cal just keeps reloading.
Yeah, Cal, arguably an honorable mention on this list as well. 10 losers from the week that was in college basketball. You went first on our winners list, which means I go first on our losers list. I'm torn. Should I do who I think the biggest loser actually was, or should I get petty?
Um, who the biggest loser actually was?
Biggest loser actually was BYU.
Yeah, Richie.
BYU lost Richie. And there's not much else you need to say. I'm heartbroken for the kid. We're going to have a reaction video up on the channel for it tomorrow where I'll go in depth on my feelings and thoughts on that. But just one of the kids that represents everything that's right in college hoops that came back, stood through a coaching change, and gave his heart and soul and marriage to this program. And in the end is really going to have an uphill battle to try to get to the NBA. Remember 2 weeks ago, he was the best player on the floor in the Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa battle, and everybody came away saying he made himself a ton of money. I really hope he can fulfill that. I hope their NBA teams will still take a risk. But the reality is the implications of losing Richie Saunders 1 minute into a game were on full display in this game. BYU needed overtime to survive a 14-12 Colorado team in Provo. This team is not going to be what we wanted them to be without Richie Saunders.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Not gonna lie. Like my first thought, like you don't want anybody to get hurt, but it's something that makes it hurt more that it was Richie. You know, like
Yeah.
he's absolutely not the person you want to see that happen to. Um, Speaking of injuries, though, my biggest loser is Darren Peterson. Um,
Oh.
so y'all got curb stomp when you wanted to play. My boy, you had the flu on Monday, and they curb stomped Arizona. Free Melvin Council.
Yeah. He had 10 points, zero assists, zero anything other than turnovers and fouls in like 30 minutes in a blowout loss. I get he's probably going one. I don't get why at all. The kid is a walking red flag. It's just more aesthetically pleasing than everybody else. That's the only answer I have for it. But like, there's a really good chance this kid is Shabazz Muhammad.
He's Paul George without a podcast.
Paul George might be a good outcome for him at this point, dude. Like I
Yeah.
and I like Darren. I do. He's fun to watch. I get it, but like, can you ever imagine Cam Boozer going for 10-0 in a fully cleared, healthy basketball game?
Nah, my honest takeaway, G, and like I can't wait for us to like have a few seltzers and be dissecting the sport. I don't think this class is as good as we think it is.
Yeah, there's a conversation that needs to be had at some point. We'll talk about it. It gives me vibes of the Jabari Parker Andrew Wiggins year. And if you think back to that year, I'm trying to remember who was the guy that ended up actually being the superstar from that class.
Embiid,
Maybe you remember.
Embiid.
Embiid was there was somebody else outside the top four though. Might have been I think it was Jokic.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it like the whole year it was this is generational. There's two guys, Parker and Wiggins. And then it ended up being Embiid that looked like the best player. And then in reality, Jokic in the 40s is like somebody nobody saw coming. It kind of feels like that class to me just at the top, where there's this huge debate between Boozer, or excuse me, between Peterson and DeBonta, when they both have massive red flags. Maybe Boozer is the Embiid here, who's just going to be like way clearly more productive, and maybe there's somebody outside of the big three that we don't see coming that ends up even more special.
What's crazy, I think we're seeing him like we're watching it happen. We're just ignoring it. I think Darius Acuff might be the best player in this
It
class.
could be a cuff. It really could. There's a lot of guys that I would take as that answer, to be honest. But all right, moving on. I'll stay in the state of Kansas. Jerome Tang, R.I.P. What was the song? Can we do like the little song one more time for him?
I
Forget.
forget what it
I'm
was.
in
It was
the
fired up.
baby. I'm in the baby. Jerome Tang and he's fighting. He needs one. I don't get it. I love Jerome Tang. I'm not happy about this, but also like what a bozo. What a terrible 3 years for Jerome Tang. When I worked for Field of 68 and we got to like meet coaches and interview him, he was genuinely the superstar of the sport. He was named National Coach of the Year, and we interviewed 40 coaches in like 3 days. And Cart and I came away being like, Tang is the best coach in America. He's the one coach we would want to play for. Since that day, he has made every single wrong decision possible successively for 3 years, leading to the point where his final game, he takes the players' jersey names off the jersey and said that he let his own players do the scout. That was the message he wanted his guys to get through. And then after like a loss to Houston, they were down 16 and a half, but they played them close in the second half. He called themselves the victors somehow. He said, we can choose to be victims or victors. We're going to choose to be the victors. And that's what we did today before a 14-point loss. And then he got fired 24 hours later. I'll always remember you, Jerome Tang. I hope you bounce back on your feet. Never forget that I once campaigned for you to be Juwan Howard's replacement.
What was the point guard's name on the Final Four team?
Marquise Noel.
He probably still can play college basketball, if we're being honest with the way everybody else is getting to play. If Tang wants to bring Keys to West Virginia and we do the song and dance, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean that would be a hit. Yeah, Doug McDaniel was once Marquise Noel the musical, but then the third act, the coach gets fired. I forgot. So
Look, Doug only got to play home games.
yeah, it's just so tough, man. All right, back to you. Who's our fourth loser?
um, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, everybody. But I mean, honestly, it's Michigan State, right? Like that was just such a bad performance against Wisconsin, a team that you think would be beatable. Um, I don't want to call Wisconsin a team of two, but I said on the preview that I thought Boyd and Blackwell were gonna have to get close to 50. I don't know how much they exactly got. I can pull it up though. Um, I mean, Boyd had 29 and Blackwell at 24. So 53. I mean, another W for Deion takes. But I mean, to lose to two guys when you're supposed to be like this defensive engine is tough. And also, like, by the way, I think what makes it even tougher for me is you're finally getting the Cohen car you thought you were gonna get, and you still can't win. So when you're finally getting the guy that's been bad all year to play good, I mean, well, what's Card always say? Jeremy Fears is out there throwing up tour dates.
It's a good thing I've opted out of all Michigan State content forever. Otherwise, I would point out that I think there's a correlation between getting the Cohen car you thought you were getting and the team stinking. The more involved that Cohen Carr is, I think the better for the opponent that is every single game. But yeah, Wisconsin's a team of three. Nick Boyd's going to mess around and make a first team All Big Ten at this point. He's electric. I was wrong a week ago when I debated would Boyd or Cadeau be better for Michigan. Boyd. If Nick Boyd was Dusty May's point guard this year, that's an unbeatable team. And he's the guy I was campaigning for because he played for Dusty for 2 years. But what a dog. I love watching him. Nolan Winter's very good too. He had a double double. He's their third. But yeah, excited to hear the recap from you guys tomorrow. My next loser, Ben McCollum. I say this on behalf of Cart, who reminder just landed in Florida 10 minutes ago and then texted me right now and said, "Have I ever told you it's really, really special that I wasn't a D1 athlete? I would have made that Yaxel video look like it was nothing." Uh, Thank you to Cart for his commentary. In honor of Cart, Ben McCollum, his greatest current op is a loser. McCollum talked all this shit about Purdue a month ago and basically deflected anytime when asked about what makes Braden tough to guard and acted like, oh, it's all the Purdue coaches that make these guys look good. And he had no answers. He needs to make his guys look good, and he can't do it right now. He's begging any of his role players to do anything. A week ago, he was on his radio show saying, hopefully, we win a national championship this year. Big dog, hopefully, you still secure an NCAA tournament bid. You played nobody. You scheduled absolutely no one in the non con. You have all your tough games remaining. I'm not positive you win one. That Maryland loss that you took last week is going to age so horrendously. They just lost to Steve Peichel today. This guy needs to get humbled, and he did get humbled, and I, for one, was glad.
Yeah, I don't like Ben McCollum. I don't know why. I also think Bennett Sturts stinks. Like I'm not a Bennett Sturts guy. I don't get it with Bennett. He puts up flashy numbers, but it is what I don't know. I don't see it with him. Um, my next loser is honestly um whoever's gonna guard Yaxel on Tuesday because of that video, by the way. That video is so special. Like that video is exactly why like I'm
Save,
so infatuated with this Michigan
I'm going
team.
to pull executive decision, save the takes, because we're doing a short video on this tomorrow, and I want your full thoughts there. Um, Yeah, Cart made me send my reply to the Purdue fans in the Discord. I guess they were asking what my thought was.
Right.
And yeah, my response was, gosh, Fletcher's going to be so motivated now.
By the way, Fletch gave up 40 some points on 2K. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday night. I watched the Braden stream. He said, Braden, let me switch on to the ball handler. Ball handler had like 43.
Yeah, I'll save my full thoughts. Do I wish that Yaxel did this? No. Do I? I obviously wish not. But Yaxel's been doing this. Yaxel's been this is Yaxel, man. Ooh, butterfly. Oh shit. Michigan State. Ha ha. Like turns into Gus Johnson anytime you ask him about a big K. You're like, ha ha. He has the Joker tattooed, man. Like, what do you want? I have multiple guys with Joker tattoos, and you want my locker room to behave? God damn. All right.
Ooh, I have a Joker hoodie I might wear on Tuesday.
No, no, 3 units. 3 units.
That's true. That's true.
Next loser for me, UConn fans. UConn fans, because UConn's like 29-2 or some nonsense, and their team keeps winning by 4 against terrible teams that won't make the NIT. And now the people getting blamed for it are the fans. Ed Cooley in a loss got to make the whole narrative about how bad the UConn fans were. And then Dan Hurley agreed and said he won't call out his fan base anymore, but they're the circle of champions and they need to be better, but fans don't respond and I have equity. It's a terrible look, man. It's a terrible look for a program that I respect more than any. I mean, from doing Final Four stuff, they were the champs the year we did the Red Couch with Robbie, and we interviewed UConn players, past and present, and anyone that sat down on that couch, Cart and I would go home and to the hotel at night and just be like, man, UConn is different. Everybody else is like happy to be here. UConn is like, this is what we do. And they're for their own head coach to call out their fans for not showing up for them in the middle of a 2-loss season. That's a tough look.
Um, I I don't know I don't know what to do with UConn. G, I'm gonna be honest with you. Everything about them confuses me. I love them, then I hate them. Georgetown, same thing. I love Cooley, hate Cooley. I don't know what to do with the Big East. I think I'm out.
Well, it's terrible. The whole league's terrible. UConn's good, but there's one good team in a league full of terrible teams. Is what it is. It's like
Because
if
my
Michigan, imagine if Michigan's entire conference schedule was Ohio State, Rutgers, Ohio State, Rutgers, Ohio State, Rutgers, Ohio State, Rutgers for 3 months. That's the Big East. It's like, oh shit, we only beat Ohio State by 3 tonight. Like, yeah, they're probably a little bored. They should probably get up for the next one, but like, they couldn't lose these games if they tried, you know?
Can I be honest? Bruce Thornton might win the Big East.
They would undoubtedly be the third best team in that league, maybe second.
And he could catch UConn. Like if Braylon Mullins has a bad shooting night.
Oh, 2 more. What's your next one?
um, can it be from the week in general? Does it have to be the weekend?
It could be anything.
It's North Carolina, and I say this because I felt like North Carolina really was like building something here, and I know Caleb Wilson said like it's not over or whatever. It is. Like that tweet was fun, and I'm sure everybody like was really excited and everything, but it's all over, man. And it's unfortunate that it is over because I thought Caleb Wilson and North Carolina were genuinely some of like the most entertaining. Um, Basketball you could watch on TV, but unfortunately, it is over.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. And Riley Davis has been trying and failing to pass a kidney stone for 5 days.
It, and I gave him advice, by the way. He hit me on the side, like, "Yo, how long does it hurt for?" And I said, "Brother, until it passes. Like, the pain isn't one time. Like, it's gonna go away and then come back, and then go away and then come back." And he keeps saying nobody's ever podcasted on a kidney stone. Brother, I hooped on one, Riley. Senior year
Yeah.
of high school. Play with me.
Yeah. Yeah. No comment. But Riley failing to pass a kidney stone feels an awful lot like their fan base failing to get Hubert Davis out of here. Like it sucks. It's not that bad. Like every now and like we win every couple hours, and then reminder, it's just always there. You know, gotta get them out. Okay, one more each. This is the petty one that I waited for. Yay. Mick Cronin, you loser, man. You loser. And then you lose and you blow by Dusty Meg. Congratulations, you're not special. You're the 7th coach in conference this year to blow by the coach of the year in the league. We get it. You failed Adai Mara. And you need to look yourself in the mirror and acknowledge that, and you never will. Like that's if you're mad about anything with this whole Mara situation, this matchup against Michigan and Michigan leaving him in and running the score up late, you should be mad at yourself for failing a kid that should have obviously been a lottery pick 2 years ago. Obviously. How do you not find a way to make that work? How? He's insane. He is not a difficult player to make look good in college. Then you had 2 attempts at it and you couldn't do it. And now you're bitching about it. Now you're just whining that somebody else did. That maybe he soured. Maybe his representation was like, you're never going to get to a professional career playing for that guy. You need to change. He's a loser. They lose by 30. They get embarrassed in the second half. He makes a show of the handshake line and then goes in the tunnel and basically wouldn't praise Dusty May at all. His exact quote was just, well, yeah, they got the most talented roster. And that's all I got to say about that. They do, because we took your most talented player that you did nothing with. Feel bad about it. But that's like, what a loser, man. It would drive me crazy. If I'm a UCLA fan, I couldn't watch this program after watching what Ademar and Michigan did to them this weekend.
Once I'm done saving UNC, UCLA is next on my list because UCLA used to mean something to me, man. That UCLA blue used to be special.
Most special uniform there is in the sport, man. Even like the year they had Lonzo and TJ Leaf, it was just like, this feels right. They should be a powerhouse every year. And Mick Cronin is ruining it.
I'll never forget the Lonzo shot against Oregon when he like turned around and then started pointing to the ground and said, "This my house." Like is that only happens in UCLA, man. Like it makes it more special.
Could have happened anywhere. Now that I think about it,
Now
that
that
could
it's
have
said
happened
out
at
loud.
Kansas State for Jerome Tang. You know?
Now that it's said out loud, probably. But something about it being at UCLA where Luke and Bob Mute played makes
Yeah,
it.
felt better that Luke Richard and Ba Mute once was there years ago. You know, I feel that.
And Kevin
And
Love.
bonus loser for me, honorable mention, Tom Izzo, because their dinner date got ruined.
Yeah,
What a bummer, man.
yeah. It's
Nobody wants
unfortunate
to
for
deal with an angry Mick, and that's what Tom had to do this weekend. So sorry, Tom. Dusty May ruined something else for you. Crazy. One more loser from you.
My final loser is Mark Pope. Brother, like I know it's Florida and you only lost by 9, and that's all that anybody's ever going to point out. You're down 16 with 8 minutes to go. This was belt, and like you had a week to prep. They looked unprepared. They looked lackadaisical to me. $22 million roster, as my guy Todd Golden said it.
Yeah,
Belt.
yeah, not a great look for Mark. Third and final topic for the Monday episode. Let's update our top 10 teams in college basketball. This is your first time doing this segment, I believe. So I assume you've probably listened to this because you listen to our channel more than anyone else that works for the channel. But the goal of this every week confuses the hell out of Cart and I. We think every time we're trying to do the 10 best teams right now, we're not trying to do the 10 most deserving teams in terms of record or poll wise. It's just a snapshot moment. Who are the 10 best teams in college basketball right now? Somehow along the way, we always fail to do it, though. So, does that make sense? Do you have any tweaks to how we do this?
Nah, I do it with my final four every day.
Yeah, you have how many? Do you have 7 teams in your Final Four right now?
Currently I have 7, and then I have 2 that I really want to swap in because Iowa State and Florida feel like they have to be in the Final Four at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. So, first 4 out of your Final Four is tough right now. But
Yeah, I'm thinking about having a Dayton play-in style Final Four.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So, top 10, again, just going after who are the best teams in college basketball right now. For the first time in 2 months, this gets interesting. Arizona has been number one for 2 months. I think I made an argument Michigan should be above Arizona maybe once before the Wisconsin game a couple months ago. They're not going to be number one right now. I don't think. They might not even be number two. Is Michigan the obvious number one here?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think it's close.
That's where I'm at too. Who's two? Because I
It,
it could be Zona.
nah. I don't even got zone in top 5 right now.
Okay, talk me through Zona first before we talk who should be two.
Well, I guess this is where I get confused. We're doing like who's the best right now.
Yeah, but like not just, oh, we just lost 2 straight. Just like who, if we put every team in a game right now on a neutral, who would we take over who else? Like I guess Arizona losing a close one to Texas Tech doesn't like make me want Texas Tech over Zona or anything like that, you know?
But I think if Duke and Zona both get Tech again, I think Duke puts belt and Zona loses again. That's the difference to me. Like I think Zona just didn't look as good as Tech did.
Duke is second on Ken Palm right now. Duke and Michigan may very well be number one versus number two this weekend. It could happen, which would be crazy. We can debate Duke in a minute. I don't have a huge argument with that. I'm more so interested in like what's your overall Zona thought? Like, was this like a revealing, oh my God, they're nowhere near the number one team in the sport weekend for you? Or is this more just like, yeah, they finally got, they shouldn't drop that far?
I don't think they just got. Like I think losing to Kansas without Darren Peterson is tough.
Bad result, but it's Allen Fieldhouse.
But then you turn around and lose to Tech at the crib on Caleb Love night.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think the first game's more explainable if the second game never happens.
Having a Caleb Love night itself was a huge problem. Should have mentioned that in my loser segment. Look, people think it's a bit. It's not really a bit, Dion. They've played one top 40 opponent since Christmas. Like these are the teams Arizona has played since Christmas: South Dakota State, Utah, Kansas State, TCU, Arizona State, UCF, Cincinnati, West Virginia, BYU, Arizona State, Oklahoma State. Like BYU is the only NCAA tournament team they've played in 6 weeks. And that was a close game. And BYU's not very good. So I just really I think Arizona's obviously great and has an amazing resume. The last month watching them, they have not felt at all like the best team in the sport to me. Not at all. And I think you look at the way they score and what they do, the mid-range stuff is not good. And they are good at it. But like are they gonna go play Michigan or Duke or Houston and shoot 80% of their shots from the mid-range? Like a huge part of why they lost to Texas Tech was Tech shot way more threes than them. And it overcame some of the problems they had. So, like, I think they can physically brutalize anybody clearly, but not the elite teams. And I think that's going to be a problem. So I just want to have that conversation because I don't know, I went on a bunch of different programs last week predicting that it's a good sell high spot on Zona, and then they lost two straight. And this week's going to be interesting. They catch a huge break with the Richie Saunders injury before BYU, and then they go to Houston this weekend. Like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, you know?
I don't know. I think it's interesting. The way it all look, like they can't hang with Houston at the moment.
I don't think so either. Houston would be my number two.
I think I would go Duke based upon like resume plus the way they're playing, if that makes sense. But I think Houston's the second best team in the country right now.
Can I pitch you on Houston over Duke?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Houston doesn't let North Carolina come back from down 10 in that game.
But would they let who's Houston's rival? Do they have one?
Not really. Like Kansas or something, but like
Yeah, I don't know if they have the same like type of rival. I was gonna say like yeah, I don't know. Like what would be the equivalent like a Duke or excuse me, like Purdue, Illinois, right? Like it's
yeah,
the
but
rivalry element of it is why I think it happened more than anything.
I get it. I think Houston might win the Natty, man. That's the team that scares me most as a Michigan fan. Two losses this season by a combined 7 points. One of them in November against Tennessee when they just weren't themselves yet. And then one of them on the road at Texas Tech in a game they led in the first half. Fleming's had 42 in that game. They still lose. Like I think that team rocks. I think it's them and Duke at two or three. I think we're just kind of nitpicking which team we want to pick second versus third.
Um,
We can go Duke if you feel strongly that Duke's better than Houston.
I'm cool with Houston because Houston would be my second best team in the country anyway.
So that's what I want this 1 through 10, like put them in order of best.
Oh, Houston,
Houston 2, Duke 3.
Duke three.
All right, I'm good with that. Where do we go next?
Um,
This is where I'd start accepting Arizona. I
I
think
don't think I'm yet.
no. Who would be over them?
Um, I mean, I really like UConn. I don't know how you're gonna feel about that though. Yeah,
Nowhere near Zona.
I really like UConn. Florida.
Florida's playing really well. I still don't think I'm putting that backcourt above Zona's. I think the front courts are similar.
What about Iowa State?
Illinois and Iowa State are probably the two I would listen to, but Illinois has lost a couple games in the last week. They're not healthy.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I can't. I have Illinois top 10. Keaton's got some pretty big red flags with me.
Whoa, give me the Keaton red flags.
Not the most athletic dude in the world. And I think when he's playing up against these guys, like we're talking about like some high level athletes, like I think he beats the brakes off of um Gonzaga, probably beats the brakes off of even UConn
Or Purdue.
or Purdue, right? But like I think if he gets Iowa State who can press him a little bit, And maybe that's more so the freshman than the um um athleticism portion, but like I don't think he's ready for some of the pressure that like a Florida or Iowa State or even Arizona could throw at him.
It's probably fair. He had 8 points on 9 shots against Alabama. I'm looking back through some game logs right now. He had 3 points on 3 shots against UConn. But that was long before they like really settled on him being the star. But probably fair concern
But they settled on him being the star when it was like a very favorable schedule too.
for sure.
And I'm not taking anything away from Keaton. I still think he's a top 10 pick. I think Illinois is top 10, but I think you're starting to see like, oh, this dude's way more gettable than like a Kingston Flemings is.
Yeah, for sure. It's fair. I don't have much pushback on it. Okay. UConn quickly. You mentioned UConn. I'm gonna need to be swayed on UConn. What do you like about UConn right now?
Um I don't know. It's I think they're talented. I think they're sleepwalking. The St. John's loss wasn't great. If they won that game, I think I'd be advocating for them to be two. I just think they have another gear they can get to talent wise, and Hurley's going to get them there. And it's if there was one team that I think can actually flip a switch, I think it's UConn.
I hope so, because they need to by the NCAA tournament. Like if they do, I buy it. But Terrace just had 4-1 against Georgetown, and they almost lost. And their starting center had 4-1. Like you know where I've been at on him his whole career. Like I don't think UConn's all that different from the team they were a year ago. Other than Silas Demery is an upgrade at point guard for sure than whatever they had. But like Demery he was brilliant. He almost had a triple double against Georgetown. I don't know. He's up and down for me, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they're in here. They're up here. I just don't like that. Not Zona.
Nah, I don't know, man. Zona has some flaws. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, does losing Koa in the second half matter at all to you with Texas Tech?
To be honest with you, I'm not huge on Koa. So
Yeah.
maybe that's my issue. Maybe me not being huge on Koa is playing into this.
I mean, that's part of it. Ugh.
What? How many? We only have three teams on this list so
We have
far.
Michigan, Houston, Duke. Then it gets really interesting right now.
I'm down.
Honestly, the safe answer here might be Iowa State.
I like Iowa State because Iowa State gets Arizona in a couple weeks, and I think they're going to be favored in that game.
Can we go Iowa State for Zona 5? I think you have to keep Zona top 5.
I'm cool with that. Florida six.
Florida 6 is fine. And then I think we're into our Big Ten realm / UConn for 7 through 10.
Here's my thing. I think UConn's got Purdue beat for sure at the moment.
Yeah, I would fight that hard. But I've been the UConn skeptic. I didn't want them in the top 10 a couple weeks ago. And then they lost to St. John's. I haven't been impressed by anything since. I'm just not getting moved by a 4 point win over Ed Cooley.
Now I get that. I don't know. That team, individual talent wise, they just got it.
They got wings. That's it. I don't know. I'm just
They
like,
got Purdue's kryptonite.
yeah, but this isn't who beats Purdue. This is like,
No, I just mean like for the next two, because I think Purdue, UConn are the next two teams.
oh, I think Illinois is ahead of both.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
I think it'd be Purdue has
Demery,
earned their way back up though. It's been a great 2 weeks for Purdue.
Demery might have Keaton in hell though.
And UConn did beat Illinois. You want to go UConn 7?
Yeah,
UConn 7, Illinois 8, Purdue 9.
yeah.
That feels right to me. And then the 10 spot can go to either Michigan State, Nebraska, Louisville, Gonzaga, Vanderbilt, Texas Tech, Arkansas.
Tech.
Probably
I think
Tech, right?
it's Tech.
Is Tech higher than 10?
I think if Tech and Purdue played right now, Purdue fans won't like this, but it won't go the way it happened in Bahamas.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think because Purdue beat the brakes off them, you got to keep Tech behind them.
Okay, wait. I have a proposal. If we swap Florida and Yukon, which actually I think you like more, put Yukon 6 and Florida 7. Our run from Arizona 5, Yukon 6, Florida 7, Illinois 8, Purdue 9, Texas Tech 10 includes a bunch of teams that beat each other down a list.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that. All right, so Yukon 6, Florida 7, Arizona beat Yukon, Yukon beat Florida. Florida did not beat Illinois, but Yukon beat Illinois. So the Yukon ahead of Illinois still. Illinois beat Purdue, Purdue beat Texas Tech. Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I like that.
And in a week, we can say Michigan beat Duke and Purdue because Michigan's just ahead of every. I'm nervous, Dion. I'm really nervous. One big thing presented by us and Tinker Coffee. Tinker Coffee promo code Sleepers get 15% off your first order. What's your one big thing?
Honestly, my one big thing is just I'm just grateful for you, the Sleepers fans that bought us these tickets to Mackey. Just the overall experience. I think this is gonna be like the coolest like 24 to 48 hours of my life probably so far.
Hey,
So just like really grateful for the opportunity to come do what we're gonna do. Just have fun.
my brother. Cheers. We got like three of these trips coming up in the next month. Some unannounced things to announce for March that I'm really looking forward to that you're going to be a huge part of. So, goddamn, getting all sentimental on a Sunday night. Damn, now I got to return the favor. Uh, like we're all traveling like crazy. You and I are taking a couple of days off, and other people got to figure it out. Cart's taking a couple of days off, and the moment that Cart's like, "Hey, I'm out for something," I'm just like, "Oh, let me call Dion." You're getting up at 5:30 a.m. like 4 days in a row this week. And not only are you getting up at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, but you're just home from a tea time. And I'm like, yo, can we record on Sunday night too? And you're like, yeah, however long you need. Like, you're basically just always willing to say yes to this. And I hope you feel as appreciated as you deserve to feel because we love you.
No, I appreciate it, bro. This is truly so much fun. I mean, I spend my nights now like either watching college basketball or Braden Smith play 2K. And like in a weird way, that's work.
It is. It is weird when I'm like, yo, I need to go do some work right now to Mal, and she's got both kids upstairs. And then I just come down and like put Purdue on and get under the blankie at like 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, you know?
It's bizarre. Like I was on the phone with my mom the other night, and I'm like, Mom, I gotta hang up. Like I gotta watch something. It's gonna be important. And it was just Braden and Lance Jones playing 2K with Fletcher and two guys I've never heard of. And it
Yeah.
was important because like it was like there's legitimately the funniest stream ever.
Yeah. Shout out those guys. I'm nervous. See y'all tomorrow.